like to. It worked very well as a reading. It worked very well as a standalone effect. With an ordinary deck, you can now get a little bit more arcane and esoteric with someone. That's the cut deeper reading. After that, I did the ritual necklace. Now, you may recognize this particular effect. It's been around for a long, long time, under the name, usually, the Grandma's Necklace. And it basically uses 3 beads and 2 shoelaces. Now, I like to use these cords that I've kind of made into shoelaces. They're a little bit thinner than a shoelace, so they work a little bit better. It's woven cord, and it's kind of a tube, so it's like a little piece of rope almost. And then all I do is I seal the ends by heating them, and it actually seals down, and then I cut it, so the ends will not fray. So I make my own laces. Now, if you can find laces that are in a tube, you can use those, but they're often too thick, so that just comes as a recommendation. The reason you need them thinner is because you have to double them over, and they have to fit inside the circumference of the hole in the beads. The beads are ordinary, the cords are ordinary, but the setup is done like this. You double over one of the cords and insert both of its ends through the same bead. Now, once those ends emerge from the other side, you pull them until just a little bit of a loop extends from the back end of that bead. So you have just a tiny loop extending. Now you double over the other cord, and you take its center, the doubled over center, and you insert it into the loop, like this. Now, because the circumference of the beads is so small, you can't insert it very far. You have to insert it until it just starts to emerge from the other side of the loop. And then you pull the cord down tight, trapping the other doubled over cord inside the loop. As you continue to pull, it pulls that trapped part inside. So now the cords are both doubled inside, but one goes slightly up inside the other one and locks it in place. A slight tug will not dislodge it. A sharp tug will break those two apart. If you look at it, though, your eye believes that the cords run through like this, side by side, 2 cords, when in fact, this is one of them, and this is the other one. All that you do now is thread on the other 2 beads normally, so they go on either side of the hitched bead in the center. Now, you can thread on more than 3, but it's a very nice number, especially since we're dealing with some of this esoteric knowledge. As you know, 3 is a very good number to use. It also has a nice look. 3 beads, 2 cords, a nice look. Now, here's what's going to happen. When I tie those beads up, when I tie the cords together, I need to switch the ends of 2 of the cords like this, switched over. The reason I need to do that is because, as you know, this cord is 1 cord, and I need to open it up like this, so that this spectator gets one end of that cord, and this spectator gets the other end of that cord. I have to do the same thing with this one. This is 1 cord, and I need to open it like this, so that that cord will also be straight. Now, I could just do what I've done there. I could just switch them, but that's a little obvious. There is an old method. The old method, and it doesn't matter which end you grab, the old method was that you tie those 2 together, and that's it. Now, I like that, but it's also a little obvious that you're just switching the ends. Here's what I've come up with, which makes a lot more sense to me. I pick up both ends on both sides, and this is very easy to do. Now I tie an overhand knot like so, and instead of just pulling it straight down, before I pull the knot tight, I switch the ends by grabbing one of these ends in my left hand, one of those ends in my right hand, like so. And then I pull it down. It looks like a much tougher knot to undo. And it looks like I'm not trying to switch the ends at all. It just looks like I'm tying a knot. So what happens is, the ends come together, a regular overhand knot, and switch the ends before pulling the knot tight. Now, at this point, the beads appear to be trapped. What actually happens is the spectator is holding here and here on the ends of the cord, and you're going to break open that hitched bead in the center. So you grab both sides of the cord. It makes it much easier when they're holding them, but you'll see what happens here. And you pull the doubled over center of those out and slide the other two beads off of the center. This is all done under the cover of your hand. Watch the presentation. The beads are taken out, and I slap them down onto the table and show them. I'm still covering this mess in the center with my fist, but you can see that if the spectators pull the ends of the cords, that those looped ends will go up in there, and because you've doubled them over, there will be no knot, and they will end up straight, side by side, two solid cords. That's the ritual necklace. Now, the very next effect I call ashes to ashes, and